Hello and welcome to Coping with Donald. I'm Phil. Today is April 21st, 2025, Monday. As of 11:30, after 2 hours of trading, the markets just keep going lower and lower on the day. I mean, it was basically uninterrupted to the downside. And at that point, the S&P 500 is down more than 2.5%. I think it was more than 2.6%. The Nasdaq was approaching down 3%. Now, of course, a lot of times on days like this, you get those instant turnarounds at 1:30 or 12:30 or 1 o'clock. They just come out of nowhere. There they go. And at the end of the day, you're even. I don't think that's going to happen today because the market's moving on news. And as we move on news lower and lower, the trouble is that we're getting more stronger areas of resistance if it were to try to go up. The resistance levels are hardening. We're actually only about 6% higher than those horrifying lows of a couple of weeks ago. Those couple of days where we're in the low 480s on the SPY. Stocks getting hit incredibly hard are Nvidia and Tesla. Tesla's going to delay their new, more economical car till at least the end of the year for that launch. And there's a class. This is just one class action lawsuit, which doesn't mean anything, but it's kind of a funny lawsuit because certain owners, who are invited to join this lawsuit, make it class action, are saying that the odometers are incorrect on their Teslas. So you buy a new Tesla, and I'll just throw out a couple numbers for an example. Instead of you go 30 kilometers and you know it's 30 kilometers, but your odometer is going up 40 kilometers or whatever they were saying. And I guess this originated in Canada, the lawsuit, if they go by kilometers. But it's because Tesla is in a rush to get to the maximum mileage where you can still be under warranty. That's pretty desperate and pretty funny in a way, if it's true. Because I wouldn't hire Elon Musk to watch a child or Donald Trump. So why would this surprise anyone? Donald Trump is, as the markets are going down, yelling more and more at Jerome Powell to lower rates, which would hurt the inflation fight. Inflation will go up. It would hurt the inflation fight much more than help the economy fight. Inflation has tariffs. Inflation has the 10% drop in the dollar in a few months. Okay, that makes imports more expensive. And if you're going to start lowering rates, man. By the way, if eggs have gone down, they've gone down maybe 10%. I keep seeing charts that eggs are higher. I don't think they're higher where I am. I would say they're down 10%. At tops, 15%, but nowhere near the amount they've gone up. Excuse me. Oh. See, when I try to cope with Donald, I get like 3 hours of sleep a night. And that makes me yawn. The markets are, again, at day lows. But it's only 11:30, so good things could happen. Also, the market's lower because the fight with China is not going very well. I mean, it's to the point where you don't see anything resolving that. At this point, these guys, or us guys, the U.S. and China do not like each other now on an economic, administrative level, and you've got a man, Trump, who will never back down on things like that. Or if he does, he'll say somebody else backed down on it. He didn't. Because he can't ever admit he's wrong. China today said that other countries have to basically decide whose side they're on. China will punish other countries if they side with the U.S. and make agreements with the U.S. So that might stop the stampede of countries going to Trump's office to capitulate on the trade deal, which I don't think happened in the first place. Now, what this means for you is that most people have to work, and most people have jobs, and it's going to be, for sure, a downward weight on wages if we start having higher unemployment. And going into an inflation like this, that's not a good thing, and that's why they call it stagflation. It's a stagnant or a slowing economy with inflation. I think the only hope would be to keep inflation down, considering so many people are out of work and there's less of a market for everything. I don't feel like I only buy what I need to buy right now. I don't know about you. So, the best hope that we have is that Trump is constrained by all the lousy numbers. He's going to try to control the numbers, but I don't think he can at this point. But he's going to be constrained by all the lousy numbers because he doesn't want to up the volume of hate. I mean, look at what happened to Joe Biden when inflation went up, and he was trying his damn best. And we wound up getting good results on the economy, but they weren't good enough. Well, this is a big hole Trump's dug himself into. I mean, you have to be the most ardent Trump supporter to say, yeah, this was a good thing. One last thing about Trump. It's reported, I saw somewhere, that he's made $9 billion in his presidency. I don't think that's true. But that would mean in 100 days he made $9 billion, and that's on the meme coin and all those other kind of things. But he still finds it necessary. This went under the radar in a lot of places, but a couple of weeks ago, DJT, the Trump stock, filed for a special exemption to allow Donald Trump to sell shares now, where because it's still roughly a new issue, he can only sell so much in a certain amount of time. They want to overrule that and allow him to sell now. If you're a holder of DJT, that can't be good. And if you're even just like hoping Donald Trump doesn't try to do things to enrich himself, that can't be good. So I don't see any pause in. Now, I want to say that's not illegal to do. They're filing a request. But it certainly isn't a good look. And if Donald Trump is going to be trying to enrich himself for 4 years, there will be further erosion in our economy and our economic system. Because what's good for Trump usually is not good for other people. So this has been Coping with Donald. And I'm going to start preparing to go to some of these rallies in Florida on the weekends, the protests. They've been picking up steam, and maybe that'll convince them. Something's got to convince them. Have a good rest of the day.